instead of
I
the
understand.
passive-aggressive dismissal.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Wow, boy, you like triple down on that stuff. That's crazy. I'm guessing your C- Seattle U University lawyer back in 2006 did that, probably while very sleepy. What I don't need is dismissive rhetoric as if you understand the statutes in a way.
I don't understand the statute.
I know, that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is this is horribly wrong. If you haven't been given legal advice, this is going to amount to a constructive denial. I'm just being straight up about this. Did you go to the Hogwarts School of Non-Apologies? Because it seems like you're really good at giving apologies in a terrible way. Hey everyone, I am free. It's April 25th, 2025. I am in the city of Issaquah here in King County in the Communist Empire of Washington State. Heading on over to the Issaquah School District, number 411. I got tips and leads from parents here saying that they're not of the right persuasion, and that appears to be economic. It is made quite difficult for them to get access to public records. A little backstory here for those of you not from Washington State, or maybe not familiar with Issaquah. It's a really well-off place to be. So it wouldn't shock me if something like that were the truth, but you know, we'll go in and see if there's any merit to those allegations. If the PRO is available.
PRO?
Public Records Officer.
Actually, they've gone home for the day.
Okay.
Can I be of assistance to you?
Possibly. I'm looking to inspect the index and then make a records request.
Okay, I actually have that for you.
Great.
Here.
Thanks.
The index, can you help me out with that?
Yeah, it's just something that you guys would have somewhere. I mean, some places have it like in a 3-ring binder.
Well, I don't have that for you today, but I have this for you and this.
Well, that might... It's missing a part too. So who would I talk to try to get the right one?
Unfortunately, today no one here is available to help you, but if you want to send in a request, or make
I'm actually looking to use the index to help me make the request.
I understand.
Since that's not a valid index exemption, where would I find the index?
You can request it.
So
I don't have that for you today.
Gotcha.
So if you want to request it, I have this for you right here, and you can you can request that.
Maybe if I give an example like this. So an index, requesting an index would be like going to Barnes and Noble's, buying a book, and then having the CSR tell you, would you also like to purchase the companion glossary and table of contents separately?
Okay.
So
yeah, I don't have that for you today.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to request it.
So I just want to make sure I understand. There's no one available. You're the only human here.
Unfortunately, today, our staff that would help you have gone for the day.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just come quite a ways out of my way.
I understand.
So who would I talk to then?
It's on here. You would send this to Trish Romo. It's right here. It's stated right there.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm instructed to give you.
Okay. Yeah, that's just yikes.
Okay.
Not right. So maybe I could get on with like on a teleconference call or something. We could call somebody.
Not today.
Why not?
Because it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it closes at 4:30, right?
A lot of our staff comes in very early.
Sure.
And the folks that you would be needing to speak with are not in right now.
Yeah, and if they're working virtually, I'm happy to, maybe we can make
No one's working virtually.
No one's working virtually at all, but they've all
Not
left.
this time of day.
They've all left early?
No one leaves early. They come in and it is Friday at 4.
Yeah.
A lot of our staff comes in at 6:30 or 7.
Yeah.
And they are gone by now.
So I guess I'm confused. Why did the hours on the website say it's open then still?
The lobby's open. I'm here till
Gotcha.
4:30. 7:30 to 4:30. You'll find me here every day.
Is there, I'd really like to get some customer service. Is there a way to...
I am giving you customer service.
Yeah, really. Not
I know,
really.
Well, I'm sorry you feel
Not
that
really.
way. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, being sorry for someone's feelings, this is not an apology.
Yes, it is.
No, it
Yes,
really isn't.
Well, that's up to you. How
Yeah.
do you want to take it?
So, yeah, I'd really just like to still get some help.
Okay. So give me a minute. I'll see if I can provide you with
Great.
some help.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Is someone on their way?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I left a message upstairs, so I'm not sure.
Great, okay. That lady you were speaking to, I saw through the door. Who's that?
Someone that works here.
Gotcha. What position does she have?
She just works here.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, maybe she can help.
No, she cannot.
I guess it's weird that you don't know who she is.
I do know who she is,
Oh.
but you don't need to know who she
I don't need to know who a public employee is.
You have nothing to do with her.
Well, I mean, you
She's
have...
an office person.
Okay, great. I mean, there's a limited amount of information you have available, so perhaps somebody else does.
She's not your one. She's not your person.
It's a logical, rational way to consider it. You know,
Okay.
you're not aware, perhaps somebody else is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the gentleman that was just peering around the corner there a second ago, perhaps he can
I
help.
don't know who that was.
Probably go back and see if perhaps he
This
could
is
find
not
him.
a usual situation for you to come in and do this, so we're working to get you the information you're wanting.
Sure. Not used to public coming in and...
Public comes in all day long,
Gotcha.
and we service them.
All right. By the way, who did you leave a voicemail for? Or a message for, I should say.
I didn't.
You said you left a
I
message?
called someone to see if they could help me, and they weren't there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And who was that you called?
I don't need to tell you that.
Well, I'm trying to understand who perhaps is a good point of contact for another
The
time.
person you need to speak through to has gone for the day, so I was just trying to see if somebody else was here.
Sure, and I'm just trying to make this as convenient for me as
I'm
possible.
sure, yes.
That's
I
the
get
most
that.
rational, reasonable thing to do. So, you know, ma'am, there seems to be an awful lot of people back there that might be able to provide assistance. I'm not understanding what the acrimony is here and attempting to maybe go a little bit further with customer service.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You may not be familiar with the word acrimony. It just seems like there's a certain degree of frustration that I'm coming in and really wanting to get things
Yes,
correct.
but I also gave you what I was instructed to give you,
Sure, I get that.
and that's my customer service, is offering you what you need, and then go ahead and just requesting
Well, what I
else you
don't
might
need, what I don't need is dismissive rhetoric as if you understand the statutes in a way.
I
that
don't
you
understand the
I
statute.
know, that's what I'm trying to explain to you is this is horribly wrong. So
Okay,
I'm trying
well,
to get, instead of
I
the
understand.
passive aggressive dismissal.
Oh, I'm sorry
trying
you feel that way.
Wow, boy, you like triple down on that stuff. That's crazy.
You know, my job is to connect people, but there's just not anybody here today to connect you with.
And what I'm getting at is it seems like there's not a lot of effort being put into connection.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I did go up and let them know. Again, it's after 4 o'clock, and a lot of our staff is gone.
Did you go to the Hogwarts School of Non-Apologies? Because it seems like you're really good at
You know
giving
what?
apologies in a terrible way. I mean, it just, wow, come on. I think we all understand how to give an apology, and to state it in such a way is,
I'm sorry you
frankly,
feel that way. I'm
pretty rude.
sorry that we're not communicating, but I'm giving you what I was told to give you.
Sure, totally understand that. What I'm trying to get
Yes.
at is that I understand the limitations in this encounter for yourself because you've been given this information. Fair enough. I can appreciate that. What I'm saying is that there's plenty of time still, so perhaps someone can just be called.
Excuse me, I'll
Sure.
answer the phone. It might be regarding your situation.
That's fine. For as wealthy as this district is, it's simply shocking that you all received this kind of service back in 2006. I'm guessing that was a Seattle University lawyer, kind of the C- probably in that zone, because yikes. That is some terribly sloppy, lazy work right there.
Yes.
How you doing?
All right, how are you doing?
Good. You just had a you said you had a request, public records request.
Well, I was wanting to make a request,
Okay.
but you know, the index is just a tool to aid someone in making a request, and you might have had a Title IX intern back in 2006 because there's some woefully bad stuff wrong about this. It's completely unlawful. It's also missing a pretty critical part, which is in subsection 4A, it says you have to have the extent of the undue burden. So for example, where you say it would interfere with the district's operations due to scope of work and monetary resources. Well, the legislature didn't want school districts and other places to get away with just simple basic explanations that make them unaccountable. So in subsection 4A, it says, and the extent of the undue burdens, as in the degree or scope of it, and doesn't have what it would need to have even if it were correct. So since you don't have a lawful exemption, I would like to inspect the index that I'm assuming you have, since the exemption doesn't count. So one of the things I was trying to explain to the lady here, it would be like going and buying a book at a store, and then they try to sell you the table of contents and glossary separate from that. Kind of like you decide to buy The Hobbit, and they say, would you like the table of contents and glossary and its companion book? And you're like, that's weird, that's supposed to just come with that. So the statute has the index as a tool. It's not something you request. It's just supposed to be there. And since you guys chose to not comply, you're supposed to have the index. So I'd really like to inspect that. Yeah, well, part of the thing that I want to request has to do with final orders, which is in subsection 3A. And I don't know what you call it yet, which is the point of an index. I would garner, you guys are familiar with those at a school district. So since the index is meant to narrow down and identify the exact name of the record I'm looking for, that's the whole point. It's just a tool. Like I said, it's like a table of contents. If you want to know where X is in a textbook, you would look at the table of contents, and it's an index. So I guess I'm confused, because you're not saying you don't have an index. So do you?
I'm not arguing or providing any contextual information. What I want to do is I want to share your request with our Public Records Department.
Oh, this isn't a request.
And I want to share the request with our legal counsel too as well, to ensure that we're compliant and good stewards of and customer service. So how can I help you?
Well,
beyond what you're requesting?
I'm just looking for, if you don't have the index, then there's nothing I can do about that. I just,
If you get your information, we'll be glad to put in a public records request based on what you're requesting.
Situation now, if I understand you, is that I need to make a public records request for the records index. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm not requesting a record. I'm looking to inspect an already created and maintained tool meant to aid in the public records process. What is making you believe that I'm making a records request for the index?
Because you're requesting a public record.
No, it's not a record. It's a tool meant to aid making a request. So what is leading you to believe that your situation is accurate? Because you do have a certain degree of confidence, and I can certainly appreciate that confidence. I'm just trying to understand how you've come to that belief. Did somebody tell you? Were you given guidance?
I think I've told you exactly our opinion.
It was at this moment that he knew. He up.
This is going to amount to a constructive denial. I'm just being straight up about this. So there's nothing to request for an index. And since I'm guessing your C- Seattle U University lawyer back in 2006 did that, probably while very sleepy, I'm wanting to inspect the index so I can make the records request. Is that going to happen? No.
Either you can come back at another date and time, and we'll try to prepare. If you let us know or you provide your information, we'd be glad to.
We'll try to prepare it. So in other words, based on what you just said, it's not prepared. Fair enough.
Sir, no, preparing the public records request.
Yeah, we were just contextually talking about the index. So it's 4:30. Obviously, it's closed.
Thank you, sir.
So head out.
If you'd like to submit a public records request, we'd be glad to help you. Otherwise,
do you have a business card?
Not on me right now, but I provided my information.
Okay. And what was your name, sir?
My name's Jason. Jason Morse.
Morris. And what do you do here?
I'm the Executive Director of Operations.
All right. Well, gentlemen, have a good night. What's your attorney's name, by the way? Do you have in-house, or is it a like farmed out company?
We work with some legal consultants.
Okay, gotcha. So who represents the district?
I'll have to get your information and share that with you.
Okay. Now, I'm happy to share the email address. but I want to be clear. I'm going to say it really clearly right now. I am not making a public records index.
Okay.
The email address I'm going to provide is just so that you can share the name of your legal counsel, whether that's an individual or a firm or whatever.
When you signed it, did you provide?
I didn't sign any. I don't identify. It's just anonymous citizen WA at protonmail.com.
Can you write it down on our sign?
No, I can give it. I can give it verbally. So, yeah. All right. Good to go. Anonymous citizen WA at protonmail.com. Thanks. Wow. Okay. So the Issaquah School District. I just want to point this out. Just how absolute garbage this is, and this is an incredibly wealthy school district. They do not hurt for money. What's happened here is the citizens that reached out to me about the public records index not being available and difficulty with receiving public records, you could see the problems that came about right there with the school district administration. They're just being really evasive, and for Mark's declaration of stating he's not an attorney, he was trying his butt off to be an attorney harder than I've seen any non-attorney try to be an attorney. So I really made sure that they understand I'm not making a public records request for a tool that's meant to aid in making a public records request. Just puzzle through how absurd that sounds. I'm going to make a public records request for a tool that's meant to aid me statutorily in making a public records request. Yeah, when you say that slow, it's just unbelievable. So that being said, this is just going to have to be put on the list of out of compliance districts, municipal corporations, quasi, special districts, school districts, library districts. There's a huge list of them. And I think the only way to deal with this is to possibly look down the civil route. But I mean, that was shocking to see that. I mean, that's some of the most grotesque laziness I've ever seen from an attorney. I mean, the fact that they couldn't even accurately reference the correct statute and did it over a year later. Unbelievable. So there you have it. Issaquah School District, filthy rich, out of compliance, incalcitrant towards transparency with records towards the constituents that they serve. So that's all I can do is report on it for right now, in addition to possibly trying to seek recourse through different avenues. But if you like my journalism, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that all notifications bell so you can get my stories right when they're released. You can follow me on X at I.A.M. Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media. And if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you know what to do. You can go to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys at the next location. Good night.